matters to her is to see without being seen. In opposition with the other nomads of the Sudan, the Rashaida, who only emigrated from Arabia in the 19th century, have never mingled with the Sudanese tribes. Like the Bedouins of Saudi Arabia, they deemed themselves to be the only true Arabs, the seed of the purest of noblest races. The immutable coffee ritual, just as it is in the tents of Arabia, a few drops in tiny cups. But the coffee is still served 3 times in accordance with a true ceremonial. Since the conquest of Egypt by the Arabs in the 7th century, Islam has never stopped spreading through Africa. The Sudan, formerly divided into Coptic Christian realms, experienced an era of power. But when the Christian kings allowed Arab caravans to travel freely, tradespeople and pilgrims to settle, mosques to be erected, the process of Islamization went beyond the point of no return. Today, the whole of Sudanese Nubia is Muslim and Arabicized. What extraordinary adaptability to arid climes! The Bedouin owes his survival to sheep, goats, and camels, and they in turn owe their existence to the thorny acacia, which is to be found everywhere. And the Arabian caravans continue ever onward towards the frontiers of Kenya and Ethiopia. Ethiopia, from where the Nile's greatest affluent breaks forth, and one of Africa's most majestic rivers, the Blue Nile. It peacefully drifts out of Lake Tana at an altitude of 6,000 feet, only to hurtle down dizzy falls which the Ethiopians call smoke without fire. Central Ethiopia, the Ethiopia of the Blue Nile, is the high country. Only mules can climb the steep sides of these mountains. Its thriftiness and stamina have made it a multi-purpose means of transport and locomotion. We are in the clouds, at an altitude of 11,500 feet. In summer, in the years of abundance when it rains, for 4 months, hail, downpours, and mist are the daily lots of these heights, plunged in the coldest of melancholias. Bogs, swamps, sodden tracks. The years of the fatkin for Ethiopia, when the rain does come, is a fertile land. With his antiquated plow like those in Egyptian frescoes, a farmer scratches the topsoil. A twisted yoke and beam culminating in a short iron point, a technique dating back to the dawn of countryside civilizations, nonetheless making for 2 or 3 harvests of millet a year. When the corn is ripe, it is cut with a sickle and then threshed as in Sumerian times by trampling on it. Threshing with clubs, too, more effective for teff grass, a sort of small-grained millet. Finally winnowing, grain and husk separated by the wind. With teff meal, the women prepare injera flat cakes, as large as a cartwheel. A pancake with an acid flavor seasoned with pimento, the local staple food. The market attracts thousands of villagers every week, sometimes hailing from afar, their wares loaded on donkeys or perched on the women's heads. In the Saleh market, there are 3,000 people there every Monday. It's a traditional Amhara center. In the Begemder province, which has been through years of drought and forced resettlements. The Amharas, convinced of their superiority, their prestigious origin, with a hint of Semitic traits, and proud of their Christian faith. As early as the 4th century, monks exiled from Syria sowed the seeds of Orthodox Christianity in these African mountains. Few countries can boast so many churches, hermitages, and monasteries. Sometimes these monasteries are perched atop Anbas flat-top peaks, which are easier for birds to get to than man. At Debra Damu, monks and faithful alike reach their church on top of the plateau by climbing up a 50-foot cliff using a rope. The most astounding churches in the country were carved out of rock in Lalibela in the 13th century. Chiseled windows, doors, vaults, pillars, most with different motifs. Hollowed out of the ground, St. George's Church in the form of a cross. Lalibela, a holy city with its buildings separated by ditches and linked up by underground galleries. A center of meditation where dozens of generations of hermits and monks have followed in each other's footsteps. In the region of Aksum there lives one of the last painters of Byzantine inspiration, Johannes, a 75-year-old monk whose depiction of Christ and the Old Testament figures adorn a fair number of sanctuaries. In Ge'ez characters, Ge'ez is the liturgical language of Ethiopia, the name of a saint is mentioned, Tekla Heymanath. As with the Byzantine painters, this icon is not signed. The most remarkable aspect to the Ethiopian rite is its sumptuousness, a truly oriental splendor which literally bursts forth on religious feast days. The church tablet, the sacred symbol of the Ark of the Covenant, borne in procession under multicolored parasols. Deacons, priests, sacristans, bedecked in silk finery, holding their procession crosses, march forward to the applause of the crowd. Out of the underground galleries, the banners, the oriflammes surge forward. On Palm Sunday, or at the Nativity, the local dignitaries with their brocade garb encircle the bishop in black garments. The clergy then show off their finest chiseled crowns. The faithful press forward towards the crucifixes, while on the walls of Great St. Mary's Church, 200 deacons prepare to dance to the rhythms of the masenkos, sistrums, and the chanting of the cantors. This is a ceremony of biblical origins to reenact the dance of King David before the sacred ark. Nubia, linking the Sudan to Egypt, is a huge oasis. a luxuriant though narrow fringe of vegetation all the way along the Nile. In these calm waters, we spend whole days